Greetings, everyone. Happy Saturday, whichever days you guys are logging in from. But welcome in. It is day number 20. Welcome from the lost city of Atlantis. Just kidding. But yeah, it is day 20 of the challenge. I've lost b- a little bit more, 0.2 pounds. So I'm continue to be the lightest that I've ever been, from 206 last summer to 205.2. So yeah, I'm just I'm just learning and enjoying the ride as much as I can. And definitely, yeah, it's gonna be a challenging Monday. So right now it is the buffer zone. So in the buffer zone, you have an option to ease into the upcoming changes that will be implemented on Monday, or the other way is like, okay, these are the last 2 days to plan out, or enjoy those changes, those foods before we're making those changes, which I'm probably more likely doing because uh, coming Monday we are removing the junk sugars, which is mostly rice, bread, pasta, white potatoes, basically almost like, let's say, carbohydrates, right? So once again, these get converted in our body into glucose for us to have fuel, but then at the same time, we only have a limited amount of storage when it comes to carbohydrates. The rest that we consume gets converted into fat and stored in in parts of our body. So yeah, it's sometimes, once again, the fats are pretty much that from carbohydrates and sugars and whatnot. So yeah, once again, Monday we're removing those junk sugars, and we're also removing milk and dairy. So gonna read some of the FAQs that some people are asking in the community. So we'll start there. It's gonna be about, I believe, about 15 questions. So we'll just go quickly through them and definitely call it a night. I'm definitely looking forward to an 8 hour sleep here. Working at graveyards is very rough, so I get to enjoy, the times that I am able to get 8 hours of sleep here. So without further ado, so number one is ghee or butter okay? At this time, no. This also includes whey. We suggest using olive or coconut oil as a substitute, right? So at the same time, if you guys can get avocado, even better fuel source, right? Number two, what can I use instead of milk? Is goat milk okay? And once again, this falls in the rules that we were not meant to drink from other mammals. We just started doing that 10,000. The last data is 10,000 plus years ago, right? So, but almond milk and coconut milk are the preferred choice here. I personally use almond milk. For my smoothies, and before I use almond milk for my black coffee, but now I just have it black decaf, right? So also hemp and hazelnuts are great too. So just really focus on the unsweetened versions, and always, always look at the back of the label. Is brown rice okay? At this point, no. Um, all forms of rice is out for this coming Monday. All right. Scroll down here. Are brown rice gluten-free pasta or breads okay? So yeah, as I said, at this point we would continue to remove them. Remember, this week is all about your pancreas, giving it a well-deserved rest. They do come back in the near future, so later in the program, depending on your health goals, right? Um, if you have met your health goals, and they may be coming back in, definitely a good feeling out phase to see what foods are, after cleaning yourself out, figure out what foods are, um, give you a positive or negative response, right? So yeah, they're out at this point, right? Number five, are there any pasta or bread substitutes that we can use? So we love making pasta and spaghetti squash. Definitely, we do spaghetti squash for that, and then at the same time, my wife also does zucchini, slicing them up into spaghetti looking pieces. You can get a veggies spiralizer, and or cut it into thin strings and saute onions, then add your sauce, as long as there's, yeah, most importantly, there's no sugar to it. um Definitely, being Filipino, Jollibee style spaghetti, definitely it's on the sweeter side, right? So it's no surprise, what's in there, right? So number six, is yogurt okay? So once again, this is falls under dairy products. So both yogurt and Greek yogurt are to be removed for this coming Monday. But coconut milk yogurt can be a great substitute. They have a variety of kinds of flavors, while you are allowed to use the ones that are sweetened with agave. But yeah, most important is, like, we want to remove the sweet taste as much as possible. So you definitely try to look for unsweetened types. But yeah, definitely you'll be able to find these ones at higher end grocery stores like Whole Foods, right? Or natural foods. So are kefir, ghee, or cheese substitutes allowed? Once again, no. All dairy should be removed. Some stores sells vegan cheese substitute, and these are technically allowed. However, many are full of chemicals and are not recommended. So, as always, just continue to look at the back ingredients. Look at the back for the ingredients, and if you can't pronounce it, best avoid it as much as possible. All right, number eight. Are coconut flour and almond flour okay? At this time, they are okay if used for cooking, as a light sprinkling, but do not bake with them. Again, they will be back in the future, though. So, yeah, just a light coating of it, you know. But still, it will probably fall into parts of that, carbohydrates. So once again, most important, just continue to have the good stuff in, and it will make it easier for us to weigh out on these changes, right? So continue to up your fruits and vegetables. There's no eliminations at this point for protein, so at best, same thing. Quality, quantity, and variety of different proteins will help um, cover different nutritional needs, right? So, what are some meal ideals that I can have? So, one eggs, so omelet, fried, scrambled, hard boiled, deviled, egg salads. Number two, veggies and hummus. Three, veggies or meat and veggie stir fry. So let's see, it says here try Bragg's amino acid as a great substitute for soy sauce. I don't think we get that here in Canada. Soups. So yeah, vegetable soups as much as possible. Roasted red pepper, split pea, cabbage soup. I definitely, the cabbage soup is another diet on its own. So try that out. Right, season it. To give it a lot of flavors, and it contains a lot of water. So definitely we're covering, that nutritional need of just staying hydrated, right? And then veggie soups, right? So obviously pick those, make it naturally, but definitely, um, make sure you don't have those ones that have pasta in there, right? So also meat and veggies, chickens, asparagus, onion, zucchini, squash, steaks, right? Also, you can have salads, right? So, steak and at the time, sweet potatoes are all right, just not the white potatoes, right? So that will be addressed for a later time in the challenge, right? So right now, steak and sweet potatoes are okay. Asparagus, onion, veggies, yeah, that could be nice meal that I kind of got, but we did have, long beans instead. So, and also roasted veggies and meats. So roasting them as well. So once again, remember that we're not reducing the amount of food that you're eating, right? It's just making eating as much of the healthy stuff as much as possible to definitely cover all your nutritional needs, right? So that it makes it easier for us to just wean off this processed food, right? Wean off a lot of this reduce our carbohydrates as much as possible, that we're not always going over the allowed amount, and then that rest is being converted to fat and stored, and we best want to try to avoid. It's definitely this part that we want to reduce, so but we're not, right? We're always filling the tank with the fastest fuel source, but always at its limit, right? So just think of carbohydrate as NOS, right? Definitely quick fuel, a nice burst of energy and whatnot, but you cannot drive on NOS forever before it starts breaking down, right? So eating a lot of carbohydrates and the excess being converted into fat storages or whatnot, it will break down, right? So just think of carbohydrates as NOS, and you can understand that you can't drive on NOS forever, right? So yeah, definitely, let's just make sure that we keep it low, heading into this Monday challenge. All right, number 10 here. What about soy milk, tofu, extra, etc.? So, um, view on soy is that it is extremely hard to find non-contaminated, non-GMO organic soy. With a big scale GMO production, even sources that claim to be non-GMO can easily be contaminated. One second here. So yeah, um, at this point, definitely not recommended. So once again, just look at those the other alternatives. Once again, which is almond milk, coconut milk, hemp and hazelnut are also good as well, right? But once again, make sure they are the unsweetened types as well. So, with all that in mind, soy can be a substitute for dairy. It is better than dairy. So, if you can find a healthy source of soy milk, tofu that doesn't, as clean as much possible, then at at this time they're allowed for this coming Monday. Number 11, is there a limit to how many eggs can be eaten in a day? There are no limits on the numbers of eggs. The only reminder here would be that in nature it would have been really hard to have access to eggs every single day. So please take care of variety. So that's the thing, eating the same thing overall every day has a set, like no food is basically what you call it, a multivitamin, right? So they have their pros and they have their lacks of certain things which are cons, right? So always focus on variety as much as possible, right? So once again, there are no limits to eggs how many, but also at the same time, you gotta limit yourself and make sure you have room for other things as well. And at the same time, just make sure as well. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's conventional eggs or gluten free, uh, organic eggs, right? They have the same kind of chemicals that may reduce us receiving biotins, and it's more important is the egg whites. The yolk itself is great and full of nutritions, all the building blocks that you need for life, but the egg whites have like three certain chemicals that prevent our absorptions of biotin, also giving us a gut reaction, and then at the same time having our skin break out in certain hives and whatnot. So I definitely had that problem in December because I was while I was trying to get healthy as much as I can, I decided to just have three hard-boiled eggs heading to work, and definitely my skin, especially the back of my head, flared up, and yeah, it slowly has gone away. So just definitely just especially if you get the chance, and I know it's a lot of work. Definitely separate your eggs from your egg yolks and then cook them separately. So emphasizing having more cooking time for the egg whites, right? So to just get rid, cook away those three different chemicals that are present in all egg whites, regardless high quality or low quality. So yeah, just once again remember that we never had access to eggs as often as we do in the modern era. So um our evolution once again is just uh we have that variety. If eggs were available when we hunt them, then great, but they're not always there for us, right? So are there any bread substitutes? So yes, bread made purely from nuts and seeds can be acceptable substitutes, right? So not not the ones that we farm, right? So like wheat and stuff. So let's see. What about soaking and sprouting nuts? Soaking and sprouting nuts is a great practice. However, it is not a requirement. So, but I mean, if you can find a healthy and a whole ingredient, yeah, definitely try it out, right? So, what about corn, buckwheat, oat, quinoa, brown rice, millet, and spelt? They are all grains and are out of season at this time in the challenge. Also, yeah, there was a bonus finish so on grains and that. So yeah, once again, part of the carbohydrates that we are removing for Monday. All right, last one. This one is yeah, this is gonna be might be tricky for some people. What about wine, beer this week? S- Answer here. We have not asked you to remove wine and beer at this point, so they are acceptable for this week, right? So, with that said, there might be, in the future, in the program that it may be one of the enhancements that may be asked to be removed, but we'll let you know. I'll let you know. Right? So yeah, those are the for now the FAQs heading into week number 4, right? So once again, that is starting this Monday. But yeah, definitely in the buffer zone. Just definitely plan yourself accordingly and be able to just make sure that you're ready for Monday. So it's up to you. I mean, how you want to proceed, whether you want to start now and start reducing um, these junk sugars and milk and dairy products, or if you feel like you're strong enough to endure and be able to um, have your food, have those foods for the last time for before we head into this week, then yeah, definitely go for it, right? I'm definitely once myself, I will be doing it as well, as I'm out of sight out of mind, so definitely want to get rid of these the last of my favorite it's instant noodles, and from here on out, that's it. I'm not going to be picking up them. So I'm hoping that these are going to be kind of the changes for myself for this round. Once again, last round I'm able to remove dairy products and just definitely don't have a craving to go back on them whatsoever. What else did I say that I did remove? Well, I did remove a lot of grains, but like I said, those were never things that were part of my diet whatsoever. I've never been a bread eater or sandwich eater. Um, Pasta, not so much. Obviously, here on out, I'll be losing eating out. So the white potatoes or McDonald's French fries will definitely, I've been able to, the last month, right? Been able to not stop by a McDonald's, right? So yeah, it's gonna be pretty much easy here. It's just maybe this round we'll be focusing on other things to definitely remove and change things out, right? All right, so yeah, I hope you all are definitely well planned for this coming Monday. I know it's going to be really hard for a lot of you that's doing this for the first time. I myself felt like I was gonna die just hearing about it. Right, ate a lot of rice, so I just didn't know what alternatives that I wanted. But now, I'm been okay with having a veggie medley as a base. Right, I end up sometimes even finishing my veggies before I eat my or before I finish my proteins, right? And that's the thing, it's things will change. You'll adapt, right? And that's what makes us, humans. That what makes our species be able to, survive all others. As we're just very resilient and we adapt to the situations. And definitely that is my theme word for this year is just being able to adapt, right? And once again, nothing's gonna be perfect. We're gonna have our off days or slip ups. Just most importantly, just we get back on track as soon as possible, because just realize that little slip up will kind of cost us 5 or so days to get back on track again. So just realize it, is it really worth to have that 5 to 20 minutes of enjoyment, and but having 5 days to burn that off and stay on track, right? So it's just it's just think about it. Right? So as long as you're willing to get back on it in 5 or so days, then yeah, go ahead, enjoy. Once again, it's not having just not uh, having a life and living that life as well, right? So you're gonna have these times where you're gonna spend a moment with family and friends or colleagues, right? But on those days that are able to control the input of food coming in, um, yeah, definitely just get back on track and be on pace to reach your health goals uh, sooner and quicker. But you're in the driver's seat. You're in control, so it definitely is in your best interest to make good use of the 90 days that are we're using to address and improve our overall health. All right, so yeah, once again, thank you so much. If you are watching from the other platforms, feel free to subscribe or follow on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook. Hit those notifications to stay updated. I'm gonna do my very best this evenings to let you know on my journey. Hopefully, we can look back on day one and see, and then see from day one to day 45 on the changes, and then from day one or day 45 see the changes when we hit day 90. All right, so thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm happy to serve you all on this journey, and as always, continue to raise your environment so that you're able to raise yourself, and one day you can be the impact for your own community. A simple smile, a simple gesture, paying it forward can go a long way in igniting someone's fire, so that they too can be the impact in their environments when they start working on themselves, improving themselves, and be the beacon in their community. All right, take good care. I wish you all a wonderful evening and a wonderful weekend, and we'll catch each other again tomorrow.